CMJ's Epic Quest. 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 CMJ's Epic Quest.
Hey everybody, welcome back to D&J's Epic Quest. I am Justin, and joining alongside me is...
HC Newell.
And Ren, Derek. How's it going, folks?
Derek. Good. You, man?
I am pretty sore today.
From hockey or from what?
Yeah, I think it's hockey. My season is done. We lost Wednesday night. That was our second game we lost in the playoffs, so we're done. But we lost to the number one team. They only beat us 2-1. But me and another guy on the other team had a pretty big collision with each other.
Ooh.
He had the puck. We just both kind of guessed the same way. I probably outweigh him by like 70 pounds, but he was skating pretty hard and we just blew each other up. So my arms are definitely sore still.
Shit, man. Well, ice that fucker.
I'll live.
Screw making it better. It'll go away naturally.
That's what I got the old beer for.
There you go. Zaddy. All right. Well, you want me to do the Silverstones thing?
Oh shit! You know what? We better make sure we've got our nicknames in for our patrons.
They're here.
Okay. I haven't looked at it, so I was just thinking about that. For
we only have
anyways.
1 of 3, so
we have 2.
Oh, what's the second one?
We have a nickname for Mr. Aaron.
For Aaron Parker?
Yes.
Before we get started in today's episode, we'd like to take a moment to thank and recognize Silverstones Books. Please check out their website at silverstonesbooks.com, as well as their local storefront. They have a large selection of fantasy, sci-fi, and horror books, with many of those options being signed copies at pretty decent prices. The store carries a large number of indie authors, so help us help them supporting those self-published authors. Also, they've been gracious enough to give us a promo code for 10% off your next order. That code is DJ Quest, so check out their site and pick up a book and save some cash.
Also, I saw that he's also going to have a rotating selection of tea from a tea shop that must be like next door or a few shops down or something.
That's pretty cool.
So if you want to order some tea from a small business, you can do that. And I think I saw he's got like some wallets and like purses even available too. So some different stuff, diversifying. If you're into Warhammer, I think he's contemplating getting into that stuff too. And our patrons, if you didn't catch it last time, we do have a couple new patrons here. 3 of them. I guess that's a few, not a couple. But as always, we have Jan the Picker, Luciana Etrigan, Ryan the Topological, Damien the Rock of Faces, Nate Fiddle Me This, Shield Anvil Dylan, Calvin Wallace, still waiting on a nickname from you there, buddy. Livia, the Malazan Potato, and Aaron Mott, Irregular Parker. Thanks, everybody.
Potato
It's no, she said just Malazan potatoes, what she
potatoes?
said, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool beans.
But our suspicions were correct on that, so it was who we thought it was.
That's awesome. I'm glad to see her join.
Yeah. Yeah. So our little chain of dogs is ever growing.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Today we're talking about chapter 28, 29 and 30 from H.C. Newell's Curse of the Fallen. And chapter 29 epigraph here. I'm not even going to say what the chapter title is.
I can tell you.
The Ron Doc Fan.
Close.
Aaron
Aaron Doc Fan.
Aaron Doc Fan.
Aaron Doc Fan.
I figured I'd give it a shot.
Well, that was pretty good.
The trees are a mystery to be revealed. Located all throughout Leyroth, they gift the world with glimpses of energy directly from the Six. Only the purest of heart and soul may seek upon its gifts and receive the blessing of the makers. Sacred trees, a human tome of the trees. The next morning, Nier sat alone beneath an enormous tree. The day is just beginning. Sweat dotted her forehead as Nier pressed her fists firmly together, and a tingling warmth of magic flowed through her. The meadow was quiet and peaceful. She fell into a rhythm with the slow, soft beating of the world. Every vibration of the soil moved through her. She could feel its pulse and gain strength through its energy. Braided flowers, woven symbols, and melted candles rested against the twisted roots. Colorful flowers blossomed as the sun rose. The stillness of the morning was interrupted when soft voices echoed through the woods, and with a deep sigh, Nier fell from her meditations. Chills stood her hair on end as the warmth of the energy faded. Her eyes shifted to the enormous tree, which was much bigger than any she had seen before. She touched the bark and relished in the energy surging through her. As she pressed her palm on the trunk, a spark of energy ignited within her, like a flash of lightning, and darkness surrounded her in pain and frost. Death, sadness, regret, and fury coursed through her like raging fire. A deep rumble shook the ground, and she fell back, clutching her aching chest. The tree's glowing flowers retracted, and its strong branches faded to black. Nier turned sharply as a woman stepped through the woods. Her skin was made of green leaves, and her eyes were as bright as the sun. Vines and roots wrapped around her body in elegant patterns.
Maureen McValor, a sorceress, walks in our midst. Bacala, trembling, fearful.
The woman's voice echoed through Nier's mind, yet her lips never moved. The woman stepped nearer. The woman opened her arms and looked at the sky. Her wooden teeth were exposed as she continued her chant in a soft, echoing voice.
A heart of gold turned to stone. A familiar embrace in arms unknown. 4 trials you must take if energy you seek. Many years shall pass, but few will you need. Shadows fall upon a sleeping land. Stay close to the light. Eron Doc Fan.
As she vanished, the darkness that plagued Nier was lifted, and she inhaled a deep breath of fresh air. Nier breathed heavily, confused and afraid of what she had seen. For a moment, she wondered if it was real, or if the magic of the tree had altered her reality. Her reality. She turned to the tree, surprised to find its limb and leaves were vibrant and strong. Nier gripped her head, trying to make sense of what had happened. She jumped as a man came forward, his voice crying out against the silence. "It's her! Edwin!" Startled by his sudden appearance, Nier backed away as he fell to his knees with his arms open toward the sky. Feeling weak and slightly ill, Nier hurried from the tree and back to the village. Past the crowd, she came to a small hut and burst through the door. Inside, Avalok sat at a table, wiping bright green shit from his boots. With a twisted snarl, he tossed another leaf out the window. Her face was ghostly white, and her eyes were wide with fear as she raked her fingers through her hair.
Nia, what is it? Trying to do a Jan voice. Butchered it. Sorry, Jan.
Jan's gonna come after you.
Yeah, don't do that again.
Avalok scared me.
But not in like the good way.
I don't know.
He glanced out the window as a wave of excited cheering came from the dancing villagers. With a closer look outside, he found nothing out of the ordinary, at least not out of the ordinary for the people of Mange, who danced and sang through the meadow.
What's going on?
I think I just spoke to a divine.
What?
A divine. She came to me in the woods. She spoke to me.
You aren't making sense.
Near shook her head, not having the patience or care to properly explain herself. Instead, she quietly repeated the chant, hoping to find its meaning.
A heart of gold turned to stone. A familiar embrace in arms unknown. 4 trials you must take if energy you seek. Many years shall pass, but few will you need. Shadows fall upon a sleeping land. Stay close to the light. Erondok fan.
Her eyes flashed to his.
Do you understand any of that? Does it mean anything to you?
Avalok exhaled a deep breath and slowly turned away. His eyes shifted from one thing to the next as he pondered, and with a gentle shake of his head,
4 trials? It could mean the Dramil Trelan, the realm of magic. Realms of magic.
The realms of magic?
Yes. There are gateways to the realms in our world, and each holds its own magical energy.
Do you think I'm meant to go there? Could this be a prophecy of some kind?
I don't know. I think it's best if we focus on one thing at a time. Cloud should be close to Asgard by now. He could be in the trials. We need to get there as soon as we can.
We want to help him. After he left us.
I left him. His loyalty is to Azael.
she noticed his change in his choice of words, but decided not to question it as his eyes grew distant and hard. She stepped to his side and looked out a window to find everyone celebrating throughout the woods. They fell to their knees beneath a beautifully glowing tree and sang of Numera's praises.
Do you think it was really a divine that came to me? Or was it whatever's making these people so strange?
I don't know. I'm not sure what a divine is.
She smiled at his mispronunciation of the human word. Turning away, she thought for a moment longer, and with a deep breath, she pushed the thoughts aside. Whatever had happened could be dealt with once she had time to speak with the scholars and figure out its meaning. For all she knew, it was magic that had created such an illusion. No, she'd never find the answers on her own.
Come on. We should move out while they're distracted. Get this journey over with.
They stepped from the hut and into the cool autumn air. Through the village, they spotted Lorik exiting a stranger's hut. With a great yawn, he sleepily rubbed his face and near chuckled at his disheveled clothing and messy hair.
Morning, you strumpet. You look terrible.
I got no sleep. These mange women, they've got the stamina of full-grown stallions. I can't feel my legs nearly. I'm starting to worry.
That good, huh?
Better. I think I'll let you off the hook for that morning delight we agreed upon.
Thanks. We should get moving. Asgard is still days away. Find your trousers, Edward, and let's go.
He looked down to find that he was wearing his brace and unfastened his doublet. He groaned before stumbling back into the hut. Near leaned against a fence post while waiting for him to return. She watched the villagers eat various mushrooms and herbs while dancing half naked around small fires. Colorful paint stained her skin, and flowers and twigs hung from their hair and bodies.
Odd lot, wouldn't you say?
Humans are an odd lot.
Humans, huh? Getting used to us now, are you?
He turned away with a hidden smile. A sheath rattled along his belt as he unclipped it from his waist and offered it to her.
My sword? Thank you.
He respectfully nodded. They turned as Lorik bounded through the doorway. He asked if they were ready to go as he marched down the path, leaving them behind.
Catcalling? Yoo-hoo! Avalon! I don't know how to catcall.
That's fine. He touched his arm as he stepped away, and he turned back with a curious gaze. Nerves swelled inside as she looked into his eyes. There was a certain comfort that came with his presence, a comfort she once thought to be nothing more than a foolish wish. In all her years, there had never been anyone who saw her the way he did. His brokenness and solitude were far too familiar. and she was glad to find trust in someone who understood.
I'm glad you're here. Once we leave, it'll be a short journey to the trials, and I'm not sure what our night together was for you, but it meant a lot to me. I just needed you to know that.
He gently took her chin and looked deep into her eyes. With a soft smile, he leaned closer and placed his lips to hers. She melted in his touch, and as his strong arms pulled her close, the doubt and uncertainty that lingered inside vanished as she fell into his embrace. His touch was gentle and protective. She never wanted to let go. Her heart raced as he slowly backed away. Hot breath warmed her face as their lips lingered and eyes were closed. He leaned his forehead onto hers, and she clutched his arms, wanting desperately to keep him close.
It meant everything. Could you guys hear that?
God, it reminded me of the EA Sports Challenge. You know what I'm talking about?
It's in the game.
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
Avalok was in the game not too long ago.
Oh my God. I don't think, did he whisper that for real?
Yes, he did.
I did.
Yeah, that was unexpected. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's more of like a softly said, I suppose, not really a whisper, because that was creepy.
Yeah.
I like her cat call where she's like, yoo-hoo! And then she's all nervously like, I love you.
Right, exactly.
No no discount.
Oh God, that's funny. Yeah, it was.
I wasn't trying to be creepy.
No, just like whispering that at all. It wasn't you.
I think what I did a couple of chapters ago is probably what is giving us that PTSD.
Oh God. Flashback. You know what? You should have just whispered that.
Yeah.
Take two.
Yep. All right. Well, one of the things that I guess kicking it off at the very beginning here is I love this like sense of meditation that we're kind of just immediately brought into. And then all of a sudden that scenery of like peace is just ripped away. I just imagine things like withering backwards, kind of like in slow motion, like a reverse life type of thing. And then all of a sudden, there's this like presence that she's feeling. And I wasn't expecting it. And it was just a really cool visual.
Thank you.
So I'm not exactly sure what any of what she said has any meaning. The whole like familiar embrace and arms unknown kind of makes me think of Avalok, because how much do they really know of each other in this month's time? The whole like many years shall pass is this like within the trials, even though it feels like 20 minutes, like 3 years has passed, or is that yet to be revealed, or can you speak to that?
For right now, I don't plan on spelling it out for people. This prophecy will come to light and what the things mean. Once you read the whole series, when you come back to book one, you should know what it means.
Gotcha. That's cool.
You should, if you pay attention, because I don't spell things out for people. So if you don't pay attention, you don't read between the lines, you're not going to know what any of it means.
But at this point, we're where we should be.
Yeah, you're not supposed to know anything right now.
Just wanted to make sure. And then also there was this part about where they're talking about the realms, right? And I'm curious and I don't know where I got this number. I can't really recall the specifics, but I feel like there's 4 trials. And I'm wondering if each trial is like a representation of a realm.
You mean there's 4 trials in the trials of blood?
I'm not sure why I'm hung up on 4. I feel like that hasn't been revealed, or I don't know. I don't know why I have 4 in my head.
I mean, I don't even know how many trials right now. I didn't pay attention, so I'll give you that answer. It has nothing to do with that.
Okay, well, ignore the 4 then.
Right, I mean, they even think that it's the magical realm, so they're not even thinking that it is the trials of blood. Because the trials of blood is not a magical realm. Like a magical realm is actually a magical realm, and that is actually explored further in book 2.
Gotcha.
You learn way more about the magic systems and the different realms. I mean, it's literally called the Forbidden Realms, so you learn a lot more about it.
Being that, like, the Enclave, right? They're essentially the creators of the Trials of Blood. So is this potentially leading into, as far as like the realm thing, kind of some more backstory on the Enclave?
I mean, you do learn a little. You do learn about them in the trials. I'm gonna leave that to read and find out because I don't want to give too much information about the prophecy or who gave it or what that creature was, if it was about divine, if it wasn't, all that stuff. Because that does get explained,
Okay.
sort of, but it's very obscurely explained, and a lot of people are probably gonna miss it. So.
Sure. Fair enough. Yeah, okay. Well, then I will just trust the process and not look too much into the prophecy here. But I mean, I definitely think that this divine is talking about Nier, as in there is a sorceress. Oh, there it is. 4 trials you must take if
Yeah.
energy you seek. Okay. So that's
Yeah, I
where
thought you meant specifically the Trials of Blood had 4, so that's why you were connecting it to the 4 trials in the prophecy. That's what I thought you were saying.
that's what I thought, but now I'm told otherwise. So that's fine.
Yeah, just keep in mind that I've gotten feedback from a few people where they're kind of irritated that answers are kind of left open-ended and there aren't very many answers at the end of book 1. That is purposeful because I don't want everything to be answered in book 1. Book 1 and 2 are kind of setting things up, and then book 3 is kind of like the first book in the series, if that makes sense.
Like the payoff.
Sort of. It's more like book 1. Like book 1 and book 2 are kind of prequels in a way. They're really just setting everything up. They're starting the story. You get Nier's story, what she's doing, where she's from, why she's doing it, her motivations. You learn about that type of stuff. And then in book 2, you meet another sorceress and you learn where she's from. You learn about the magic. You learn about all that side. And then in book 3, it all comes together and it slows down because you have the foundation sort of built in book 1 and 2. So by 3, you don't need all that exposition, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, I think that makes perfect sense. I think that these people who have given you feedback, either 1, can't critically think, or 2,
Coming out swinging, Justin.
I'm just saying.
He said it, not me. He'll come at me.
I'm just saying, like, I don't pretend to understand everything, but like, at least I know enough to like ask the questions to either be found, like, yeah, you just need to shut the fuck up and read, like,
Yeah, a lot of people are really upset that they don't know more about the elves. And I'm like, it's book 1. Like, your Nier doesn't know anything about the elves. You learn more about them through the 6-book series.
yeah. And I'm sure that these people are probably reading books that do a lot of hand holding, and sometimes it's just hard to break away from that. And
Yeah.
that's
So
totally
I don't fault them. It's
understandable,
just, preference.
Right.
They're not my readers.
Yeah, and that's fine, right?
Okay.
It's not a story to appease everybody. It's a story who is there for people who want to listen,
Yep. We all got our own different styles and stuff, and I purposefully did mine this way. I think it's a little more unique than most books, doing like a 2-book sort of setup before the actual real meat of the story takes place.
Right. No, I think that's great, because then when you do finally get to that 3rd book, you're like, aha, you have a lot more of those aha moments, which I feel like is a lot better and a lot of a bigger payoff, because 1, you paid attention, 2, you have all of these backstories.
Yep. And that's why books 1 and 2 are so fast paced. So that way we can just get all that stuff, get it, have it over with, air quotes. That way, once you get to like the main story and really get into what's the plot of everything, it slows down and you can take your time and you know what you're doing. There's no need for all this backstory and exposition. So, I mean, a lot of people don't like that. It's fast paced. I sometimes get insecure about it, but I think it makes sense with my overall series for the first 2 books to be really fast paced and then for everything to kind of slow down.
Sure. I mean, it makes sense. I don't have any complaints about the pace. I mean, could it have more filler? Sure. But I mean, where's the line, And also, let's remember that everyone has to start somewhere, and it's not about the creation, it's about the journey.
Yeah.
Well, and just like maybe it would be different. Maybe we'd feel differently too if we were reading more than 2 chapters at a time.
Yeah.
I will say, when I did go back and reread up till I think it was like chapter 15 that we were at, it does feel very quick in this format, as Eric was about to say, and I so rudely interrupted. Yes,
You're good, man.
definitely slower. It's definitely slower. So, I mean, there's no wrong way to read a book. You know, there's nothing wrong with reading 2 chapters a week.
No.
Um,
Yes.
That's why everybody loves book 3. Like, so many people absolutely love it because they're like, it's worth it. It's worth it. Just not get through book 1 and 2, but just read book 1 and 2, and then once you get to 3, it all comes together, and you can just see why they're needed and why they have to be that way. So,
cool. Well, I'm excited to get to it. Not sure when that'll happen, but
book 3 is so good.
we'll get there eventually.
Eventually,
We will.
as long as you get there, that's all I care about.
The other thing that I thought was really cool was like Nir's just reaction to everything that she had just encountered. You know, she goes back to the hut. Avalok's cleaning shit off his boots. It just it felt really real. You know, like a dose of reality. You know, Avalok has no idea what just happened. You know, he's just kind of going through some menial task while they wait to move on to the next part, and then in comes Nir, and she just looks like she's seeing a ghost, you know, and we've all seen that face before on like in movies or even just in real life. And I just thought it was a good scene.
Thank you. I spent so long trying to figure out what he could be doing in that hut. Because, like, everybody's always eating or they're always sharpening their blades. Or I'm like, what can he do just sitting there by himself? Because he's just waiting on Nir. Like, he's got nothing to do. He doesn't even like these people. So he's not going to be out, like, in town. So I was like, I think it might be kind of funny just, like, getting horse poop off of his shoe or maybe human poop off of his shoe or something. I don't know.
Can you do me a favor in one of these books and talking about these types of tasks? Can you please just have like, I don't know, character A walk into whatever environment and character B, unbeknownst of this person arrival, is like exiting the bathroom, like pulling up their pants and then like, you know, wiping their hands on a rag or something, you know?
Okay.
Don't say bathroom. Like don't say character B just walked out of the bathroom washing his hands. Just be like overly descriptive about it. You know, like character B pulls up breeches and you can hear the dangle of the clicking of the belt as he puts it together.
I'll have to do that in my
You know
other
what I mean?
series
Like,
because my book series is getting too dark for that kind of humor.
you gotta have some comic relief.
Well, yeah,
That's a very
but
oddly specific request.
I don't know. Hey, I'm just giving you suggestions, man. Like, you know,
you're not.
you're sleeping or just waking up, right? Like bathrooms are a part of you know, avish and human routines, right? You gotta go.
Nir goes to the bathroom. Well, she goes to go to the bathroom in book 3. She doesn't make it there because she gets distracted by other things. Because bathroom breaks aren't entertaining, so I don't write about them.
Avalcock? Did you get distracted by Avalcock?
Yes, actually.
There you go. See, I've already read your 3rd book. Just kidding. The only other thing that I had in this kind of shorter chapter was I thought it was cool how, you know, it's not mentioned, right? Avalok just gives her back her sword, right? And I'm assuming this is something that he picked up after her encounter with the high priest. So
Yeah, and it was actually I think it was mentioned that it was cleaned and polished.
Yep.
So he gave it back to her cleaned and polished because that's what she did for him after she saved him in Glowland. So he was basically returning the favor back to her.
I totally forgot about that. That's cool. Makes it
Yeah.
a little bit more meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought that was a nice gesture. And, you know, Avalok's character arc is definitely interesting.
Like I said, they're kind of going opposite directions in a weird way. Like she is helping him, and I mean, like, he's not really doing anything for her. She's just doing what she wants, like always.
Yep.
Freaking Nir.
Running in without ever thinking about the consequences, for sure.
Oh my god, I can't tell you guys how many comments or reviews or whatever talk about how annoying Nir is because they're like, she always just is impulsive. She always just does this. And I'm like, they literally talk about this in the book. They literally tell her to stop doing that in the book. It's purposeful. Like, she's annoying. Yes, I know.
But, you know, I mean,
But those are kind of like normal reactions, though, too.
Yeah, exactly. She's a very impulsive, very emotional, very reactive kind of individual, which is very important to her plot and her character. And like, that's an important thing that she needs to have for what I have planned for her. So it's always just a wait and see. Just let it simmer and remember it. Because later on, what you're complaining about now you'll be like, oh, well, now I get it.
Yeah.
So stop complaining.
I don't complain about anything ever.
Both of Justin. We're both just like,
Blows raspberry for sure.
all right, ready for chapter 30?
Ready for chapter 30. But yeah, I mean, it was
No, I'm not. I have something to say here. I've been waiting for you to bring this up, Justin, and you're not doing it. You're doing this wrong.
what Lorcan is like horror-y. Yeah, I'm good. Been there.
Well, he's saying that these Lorik must be the one with the. He was keeping up all night with these women, multiple women. So
that's not
just saying.
That's not what I got. No, I feel like he was struggling. You know,
He still kept up, whether he was struggling or not.
It takes a lot of determination to keep up, especially if it's like 5 minutes, right? First time 5 minutes, and then you've got to keep the oven going, so to speak, while you refill.
Well, he was drugged, so maybe it wasn't easier than you think.
Maybe.
Everyone in this village seems to just get naked and have a lot of fun, and they're always on drugs. So
yeah, maybe he took the blue mushroom, Justin. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe the mushrooms in Mange are a lot better than the mushrooms here.
He was definitely given blue mushrooms in return, so. I'm funny.
That was my one thing here is basically all I learned out of this chapter is that Lorik's a porn star.
He's the golden boy.
Call him Lork Jeremy. Yeah, Ron Jeremy was an asshole. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say anything.
But yeah, I will end this chapter by saying that it was a short one, definitely transitional, kind of moving from the end of Mange to the rest of their journey. So, but yeah, definitely needed, I think.
All the chapters are needed. Don't argue with me. Chapter 30.
I'm not arguing. I don't take my silence as an argument.
I took that eyebrow raise and the
Justin has a pretty good eyebrow raise, I will say. It rivals
cannot wiggle his
rivals The Rock.
I try to do the wiggle.
I guess Justin's gonna have to give lessons here on the side for eyebrow wiggling.
My husband can't do this, like the wiggle, I'll look at him and be like, and he can't do it back. It's so funny.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm like, you can't eyebrow flirt with me. No.
I'm sure he makes up in other ways.
I'll read chapter 30 here. Shadows of darkness. Shadows born of darkness shall rise with the moon, devouring the light, revealing the truth of unbridled woe. Nizolt's Book of Darkness. Okay, kids. The group made their way along the road to Havsgard. It was a treacherous path filled with bears and other wild krats. They were alone on the trail besides the mountains around them. I've never seen anything so beautiful. He scribbled into his notebook that in itself was a miracle it had survived this long. They had passed several abandoned villages, and rats scurried between homes. Nier held the reins of her horse tighter and rode quickly with Lorik behind her and Avelic in the rear. Nier gasped as she heard a voice. Justin, you're the mysterious voice.
You're muted.
Oh. Go!
You sound like a really old ghost with a long white
beard. How to do this without being airy, okay?
But it's not airy. It's like go. It's like it's like hollow, not like a rock. Think of grinding, hollowy, just like that.
Go.
Yeah, like that. I can't hear you.
Oh.
Yeah, like that. That's good.
There, yeah, nice. I like that. Do it again.
You gotta get closer to the mic.
Oh.
Sounds like you're burping.
Yeah, I know. Oh.
That one sounded good. Yeah, it's kind of like that bubbly, sort of grindy, raspiness. Not really like an old man whispering in the wind.
All right.
This was a very abrasive, scared the horses, that noise you did. That was just go, like that. It's kind of how it was. It doesn't whisper. It's very aggressive.
All right, I'll do my best.
You don't have to be perfect. It's fine, but it's just not a whispering old wizard voice is all.
Gotcha. All right.
If you want to do that, go ahead. I don't even care.
Don't believe her, Justin. She's looking for perfection here. This is pretty high quality podcast, and we reach a lot of people, and it's got to be perfect.
I'm paying you for nothing.
What? We're getting paid? When the fuck did we get ice cream?
I'm sending you this beautiful, beautiful book.
All right, about misogynistic apes. Sure.
Behold the ape, Justin.
Yeah.
This is what I imagine the voice looks like that you did first.
I don't know. That looks like
The Charles Darwin head on a gorilla is what you imagined?
Yep. But a very
Okay,
tiny
well,
gorilla and a very giant Darwin head.
We got to explain this now because people aren't going to know what's going on.
Oh,
But
yeah. Crap.
HC, you ordered some books from your publisher or whatever. That's a pile of shit. And they put your book cover sleeve, I don't know what's it called,
sleeve.
on a completely different book altogether.
Took them 4 weeks to send it to me, and it's the wrong book. It's not even my book.
It is called Behold the Apes.
Behold the Ape by James Morrow. And it's got pictures of monkeys with Charles Darwin's head on them. Very disturbing. Very creepy. I will be seeing this when I eat my dinner.
Raffle. What you should do is raffle this thing off. You should sign it. It's a one of a kind.
I don't know if I should sign somebody else's book though.
Yeah. No, don't do that. I feel like that's a lawsuit on its way to happening. Honestly, you should probably just be like, "Hey, yo, you fucked up. This is my book."
Well, I'm definitely getting a refund for it because I paid for this.
Oh.
And they sent me the wrong book. Luckily, I have an extra because I only ordered as many as I had ordered. 3 people ordered, so I ordered 3. And luckily, I had an extra one, so I can still send them their book.
Well, that's good.
Oh.
Yeah, because it takes forever for them to send me anything. Okay, anyways.
I have an idea, Justin, and we kind of talked about it before, but we can talk about it at the end of things. Anyways, I don't know if you want to give your mysterious voice a go, again or not.
I think I'm good. I think I got it. Right? You all heard it?
Yeah.
That was a big fat no.
Yeah.
Come on, you didn't like my pun there? That was good. It was gold, man. Gold.
No. Oh, wait. Go. I said no.
Oh.
Oops.
It's a good thing you're sick. You sounded. I wasn't sure if that was Justin or
you
HC.
I kind of thought I might need to do the mysterious voice, but I'm gonna mess up my throat if I do that. So.
All right. Well, we'll continue on here. Her horse stopped and reared its legs. Near fell to the ground, landing on her side while Lork rolled down the hill. Avelik raced and caught him before he landed in a briar bush. He only ended up with a cut on his forehead. Near sat up, looked to the village, eyes focused on the homes while horses trotted off. Near? With a blank stare, she looked at the village.
Did you hear that? The voice that spoke the horses.
I heard a growl. There was no voice. Near stood and stepped closer to the village with equal parts confusion and wonder. This couldn't be a coincidence that a voice would speak to her so clear and so angry. She wondered if it was Numera. She knew this village wasn't Havsgard, but something drew her in closer. She stepped closer. Near.
I think this is it.
This isn't Havsgard.
I know, but I can feel it. Something guided us here.
Fate isn't real, Near, and neither are the divines. We aren't going. Lork shut his mouth as Near walked into the empty village. The energy drew her in, though as she approached, her nose was greeted with the stench of decay. She froze as she saw a pile of larvae and fly-covered bodies. Some had no skin. Others had only begun the process of rotting. Filled with terror as she was, she couldn't look away or run. Her only thought was if they would come back to life. Her eyes moved among them, watching and waiting. Near, look! What he had directed her attention to were human body parts arranged in the sigil of the Order. Near dropped to her knees and emptied what little content had been in her stomach. Tears formed in her eyes, wondering how this could have happened. As much as she wanted to place the blame at their feet, she knew she couldn't. As horrible as some of the punishments were, they would never mutilate a corpse. I guess I should have been a little more clear there, the Order. As vile as the Order was, they still had their own code of morality and would never dishonor the divines this way. I guess I was clearer one sentence on. She looked at every one of the innocent villagers. Even a child, no older than perhaps 10 years old. Rage filled her. This was done by someone else. Someone who hated humans and wanted them all dead. She turned slowly to face Avelik, and their eyes met. Near shed a few more tears, then charged him with the dagger. Avelic caught her arm and twisted it behind her back while he asked her what she was doing.
Who did this? Was it Cloud? Was it your people? Did you lead them here? Did you betray us?
Why would I do that? I saved you. I'm on your side.
Who else would do this? No one would have come all this way to massacre an innocent village.
It wasn't Cloud. They rushed to his side, and they were in shock as they found 8 dead Avish warriors.
Who are they? Are they the ones who are invading?
The Nasir.
How did they find this place?
Avelic said nothing as he looked around the village. He marched to a nearby home and yelled for Cloud, though the silence was the only reply. Oh, shite. You don't think he couldn't have? Nir looked at the Eve, unable to imagine the cruelty that drove them to perform these crimes. She thought the world had truly fallen if people like this existed. Those able to so casually murder innocent men, women, and children without a second thought or remorse. He isn't here.
Did he do this? He killed these Eve.
Yes. These markings are too precise for these villagers to have made them. If he isn't here, then he must have entered the trials after wiping out the Claytil. Avelic grabbed a torch.
What are you doing?
If we don't burn them, they could reanimate. He lit the bodies. The bloated corpses burned and exploded, setting the stable on fire. Nir's ears twitched as if there were overlapping voices in her mind, each whispering terrible things. Death, darkness, regret, anguish. She could feel each word as the souls escaped this plane of existence, though the whispers turned to screams as the flames took them. Nir fell to her knees, trying to drive the voices out. Lorik and Avelic shook her and called her name, but she heard none of it. The voices consumed her. All she could do was beg and scream for the voices to stop. Through all the noise, Nir heard a grunt. This new voice overpowered the others. She heard, "Help us." Avelic and Lorik grabbed their weapons while Nir was paralyzed. Fighting to lift her eyes to the home, she watched a shadow emerge. It's a finch. It moved closer, and Nir watched it with terror. Avelic stood ready with his swords, and Lorik nervously held his dagger. Nir, we have to go.
Stop! Can't you hear it?
Hear it? It's a creature of darkness, Nir. It cannot speak.
Us.
Who are you? What happened?
We are weak. We are tired.
What is your name?
We do not know anymore.
That was really good.
That's badass, dude.
Yeah, how airy that was perfect.
Okay. Does this place hold the entrance to the trials of blood?
They came. They sought.
Was it the elves? Did they do this?
We do not know anymore.
Where is the entrance?
Do not go.
Nir raised her palm as if to use her magic against the creature.
Tell us.
Along the surface, the oars unminded. Do not go.
You put unminded.
Sorry, buddy.
It's like he's a hobbitses.
I'm being ridiculed. Wait, baby.
No.
That was amazing. Amazing or like funny?
Is she laughing at you?
Yeah, she's
No.
good.
He sounds awesome. That's what it's supposed to. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, sounds good. You do better.
Yeah, come over here and do it.
She was walking in as I was doing it, so
Oh, that's perfect time.
yeah. I feel like I got caught masturbating or something.
How red is your face right now, Justin?
No.
Ooh, not,
I
Oh
think
my
all's
God.
unminded. Okay,
Hey.
so
not
that
a
last
correct
one is
summary.
fine. That last one
It
is
was good.
fine.
it was good. He just put unminded instead of unmind. Like it's not mind. The or isn't mind.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention.
Fuck
It's
that
okay.
one.
I think it's funny. I don't even know if unmind is even a word. I probably just made that up anyway, so it's okay.
Well, then it's fine that I changed it to unminded.
Yeah, it just made me think of Smeagol.
Meagle.
The hobbitses.
Nir approached the finch. I keep thinking of Finch from American Pie now. Though Avelek tried to stop her, she put her hands on its shoulder. It growled and begged for help as it convulsed. The voices had returned in her head. She looked into its eyes and stabbed it with her sword. The voice stopped, and there was only silence. Then the creature faded to ash. She put her sword away and turned to her companions. Are you all right?
I think so.
What the hell's just happened? You were speaking to that thing?
You didn't hear it.
All we heard were growls near. What's gotten into you?
It was begging for help.
Right, and I'm just about good to sprout wings and flies to this cave.
It spoke. It said the entrance is along the surface where the Orzan mined.
I think you need some rest, Near. We've been traveling for days with little sleep and no food. Near was frustrated and turned away. She looked to the village and saw the Avish symbols etched into the side of a home. She traced the symbol and read it aloud.
Here. Do you think this was Cloud?
Avelek checked her work. It was him. The entrance is here.
We have to keep moving. Whatever is going on can wait. We'll figure it out after the trials.
They searched the home for more clues, looking everywhere.
The eye must be here. He wouldn't leave a note on the house if it wasn't. Search everything. We have to find it. I think that was actually Avalok that said that. Who cares?
I guess I don't remember.
No, it's fine. It got said.
Was it really the elves? They killed these people?
Yeah, I think so.
And they were with Cloud?
No.
What was that creature? What were you really speaking to it?
I don't know, Lorik. Can we please just focus? I have no idea what the hell is going on, and I'm ready to just get home. Please.
They got back to searching the home, and Lorik said he would look outside. She was alone and finally had a chance to breathe. Talking to herself, she said,
What is happening? Why is this happening?
Near! I found it! The glass eye!
Lorik, you're incredible!
Yeah? Well, remember that when we get back home, yeah? The order is this way. He led them behind the homes.
You think this is it?
Only one way to find out. Near knew once they entered there would be no turning back. If they entered, they may not return at all, and everything would be for naught. Avelek and Lorik had no real reason to be there other than to help guide her through. The weight of guilt made it hard for her to breathe.
Is this a mistake? Should we have waited for the scholars of Ryman? Are we really meant to enter these ancient trials?
I don't know. Maybe we aren't supposed to be here. Maybe we are. But I know one thing, and it's that we can't wait and see. Strange things are happening here. Bad things. You fought and trained your life to protect our country and people like this from the high priest. You think a silly little trial is going to stop you?
I'm not worried about my own fate, Lorik. I'm worried about yours. You two don't have to do this. I can't have you going through the trials just to wind up dead.
What are you? A divine? You can't control nobody's fate. Now me and this Avalok here, going in with or without you. We're lifting this God's damned curse and putting you at the head of the fight. The Order will get what's coming to them, and I'll be there singing our glory the whole way through.
Are you sure you want to do this?
Positive. Now come on, time's wasting. She peeked through the glass eye and her jaw dropped as a huge and elegant entryway appeared through the clear stone. What is it?
This is it.
Near passed the glass eye to Lorik, and he looked with amazement. Without the eye, it was just a regular-ass mountain.
How do we get in?
Avelek dug out a vial of orange liquid, and Near wanted to know where he got it. Cloud snatched it from 2 men before they entered your village. He gave me half when I left to find you so that we could enter without him.
Y'all remember I told you to remember that at Porter?
Yes.
I told you. Justin doesn't remember.
I remember.
I'm pretty sure if we go back to the episode, you'll hear me tell him, remember that. Like, because you thought that, I can't remember what you thought, that she took it and she used theirs to get into the village, like themselves. And I was like, no, just remember that they took somebody's orange potion because it will come back as a very important part of the story. Whenever they were leaving Porster, they said goodbye to Gil, and then Near looked over and 2 people were arguing at the gate because one of the people thought they had lost the vial and they couldn't get in.
Oh,
It's
yes.
Cloud.
Now I remember.
Cloud took it with his magic. So because he knew he would need it to get into the trials. Cloud's a smart boy. Okay, anyways, I had him stealing coin before we met you. He must have had a taste for it.
She looked into his eye and felt the irony of finding someone who understood her on a journey like this.
Don't die in there.
Vas nimo sina. She asked Lorik if he was ready and grabbed his hand. They'll be singing of my glory one way or the other. May as well make good on those And those sort of saving your ass bits.
We protect each other, yeah. This won't be our end.
Not a chance, Neary. They splashed the vial onto the stone and dropped the vial in the dirt, and the hidden entrance came into view, and they stepped inside.
Ooh. Justin Bow. Ooh. Rubbing our hands together. Got the double chin going on. We're both like, ooh. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Justin, your voice was really good, man. I liked it.
Oh, really?
It sounded good.
No, it was really good.
Like not even like fucking around. Like it was really good. I liked it a lot.
It's really hard to do that because it really isn't a human voice. It's very inhuman because it's like I said, it's like airy and rocky, and you did really good.
Thank you. I guess I'll wait and see it in 3 weeks when I edit this episode. So
you will. It's good.
But thank you. Yeah, I was just going with the feedback I was given. That's all.
I knew you do good.
How'd you know?
I had faith because your Gil voice kind of sounds sort of gravelly like that, like really deep and kind of raspy. So, and that's kind of on the same line of what this thing was. So it was good.
Interesting. Okay. You mean my Gil voice from very early in the
maybe.
Hey, that hasn't left your headcanon, has it?
Nope.
So
I didn't have a ton of thoughts like in the beginning part of this chapter, Justin. I don't know if you did. I thought the Finch was a cool thing.
I thought so too.
I don't really know what it like reminded me of, but it was neat that like Nier could understand it, but nobody else. Like it was just like a growling, drooling idiot basically to everybody else.
Well, my question about the Finch the Finch. See, now I'm saying it. Is it intended for it to come off as a creature of darkness with the whole ash thing?
It is a creature of darkness.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure, because like...
Yeah, and it's not really explained, and I kind of didn't want it to be explained. So I left it kind of open-ended because I didn't know if maybe later on I would explain what it is or what's going on, and I still might, but I'll go ahead and explain it to y'all. So the Finch is actually the energy, because you know how creatures of darkness are created from the energy of the dead. The Finch was created from the energy of all of the people of the village. That's why when it spoke, it says, "We do not know," because it's all of them. So all of their energy just sort of mutated into this big, demented thing, and it got warped, and it can't like remember things. So like when she's trying to ask it things, it can't remember like who it is because it's a bunch of people.
Is it one of those things where like based on that, and from what we know about the villagers, is that this is a fairly recent slaughter, right? Like I guess there isn't really a time frame to put on it, but within a reasonable amount of time, they're coming across these dead villagers. So what I'm getting a sense from how you're explaining it is that it is kind of a recent birth of a creature of darkness. So is it implied that a recent creation of a creature of dark still has like fragments of humanity left before completely being a full-blown creature of darkness? Or
well, I would say yes, but no one else can understand it except for Nier. Even Lorik can't understand it, and he speaks her same language. So I'm gonna say read and find out on that one, but kind of thinking on the same mind of if it still had humanity left and it was still like able to communicate and had emotions, why can Lorik not understand it? Like the more important thing is Nier can talk to it. But you learn more about the creatures of darkness a lot more in book 3, but you do learn more about them in book 2 also.
Well, I just assumed that it was because, obviously Nier has this like overall enhanced abilities, and what's to say that those enhanced abilities couldn't understand a recent creature of darkness that was birthed, I mean.
Yeah, maybe. Also, I'll give y'all a little tidbit that I have not shared. I thought about sharing it, but I don't really know how I'm going to. So in the dialogue when you're reading, which we didn't put that in here because it would have been really hard for you to do, like act it out, is that whenever it tries answering her, when she says, "Who did this?" or it says, "Do not go," and then it starts choking on its own voice. It's actually every time it chokes. So when you read the dialogue, anytime it chokes, it's saying the word darkness, but something is preventing it from saying that word. So I never actually explained that. I don't really know how I would explain that, but I don't know. I just thought it was something kind of cool for y'all to know. Anytime it chokes like that in the dialogue, it's actually trying to say darkness, but something is physically stopping it from saying that word.
Interesting. That is really cool. I like that.
But yeah, like how could I ever explain that? Like I was like, how?
I think that again, this podcast could very well just be a companion piece. That's all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I kind of wanted things to be left unanswered so that we could do things like this and people who are really invested could know the secrets behind things. So yeah, that's the secret behind that. I thought it was kind of cool.
That is cool.
I thought it was interesting too that it wasn't like trying to rip Nier limb from limb. Was it because she could understand this thing and was talking to it? Like, would it have tried to rip anybody else apart?
It did try
Since
to
I
rip
couldn't
Avalok and
communicate with
Cloud.
it?
Or
I
Avalok
thought
and
Nier was like the closest one to it.
I mean, maybe, but if it was a mindless creature of darkness and it was just trying to kill things, it seems like it would have killed them. But I mean, that's all left up to interpretation. The more that you learn about the creatures of darkness, because there are very many different types, the more that you kind of come to your own conclusions on that. But I'll just leave it at that, is that there's just a lot of different creatures of darkness who can do a lot of different things. Some of them, like this one, can communicate. Some of them attack people. Some of them, like this one, wants to die. It's in pain. It wants to be set free.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I just think like creature of darkness, and I think like
Monsters.
evil. And this one, yeah, monster. And this one's just kind of, I don't know if like pathetic is the right word, but like it's like you said, it's just ready to die.
I almost get like an experiment gone wrong type of vibe from it.
Well, and you have to think too that normal creatures of darkness aren't manifested from multiple people. It's just one person's energy just becomes whatever it becomes. It's kind of like Final Fantasy X. I don't know if you guys have ever played that, but whenever someone dies, basically their soul, not their energy, but their soul, if they're not sent to the afterlife, their soul gets mutated and it turns into a fiend, and it just turns into whatever it turns into. So I kind of took that idea. So usually when someone dies, their energy, if it's dark enough or mutated enough, or if they're in a lot of anguish or pain, or if their energy is dark when they die, they could turn into a creature of darkness. But all of these people were kind of thrown together. Their limbs were put into, a big sigil, and there were children, and there were innocent people. So it seems like their creature of darkness wasn't as evil as it should be because these people weren't as evil as others, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I got you. Nier charging Avalok with a dagger surprised me quite a bit. I don't know how you felt, Justin, but I did not expect that.
Nier charging Avalok with the dagger?
No,
Surprised me.
I felt like I was expecting that a little bit, only because she's reacted that way before. And I think that it was just a moment of impulsiveness, right? As we've talked about and really thinking through, but just kind of allowing herself to be falsely vulnerable, even though she knows better. But again, just is kind of that reaction. So I was expecting it.
We know from Nier's past that she's been betrayed a lot, and she always feels betrayed, and she doesn't feel like she can really trust people. So she does open up to Cloud, and he betrays her. He leaves, and she opens up to Avalok, and then she gets here into the middle of nowhere, and all the people are dead. And the only person that would even be headed this way is Cloud. So the only conclusion she could come up with that made sense is that Cloud did it. So Avalok must be with Cloud, and they must have lured her here and killed these people. They're probably going to kill her. They're probably going to kill Lorik. So yeah, she feels betrayed. She feels stupid. She's hurt. She's grieving. She just, because that's what she's gone through her entire life. So to her, it's like she's protecting herself because she was vulnerable, and she feels like she shouldn't have been, like she always has done.
Makes sense.
I don't think I've got anything to add to that.
I don't know. I guess maybe I just still have a lot of faith in Cloud, mainly because, I understand his position. And I like the line where, Avalok is like, I left him, like, let's be clear here. Like, he didn't leave us. I left him. He's still on his mission. And so, I mean, while I understood her reaction, I also kind of at that moment in time remember reading and being like, yeah, it's probably the Cleotil clan with Nasir. So
Yeah, but she thought they were with the Cleotil when she got there. That's what she was thinking. Like, because like I said, who else would be here? And that's what Nier says. She's like, who else would come out here? Like, how would anybody even know this was here? The only logical conclusion is that it's Cloud.
I guess I didn't fall for that subvert. So
But what if you really did, Justin?
I don't know. I feel like while I like Cloud, and at the beginning of the story, he definitely seems like a more prominent character, but as we've been reading on, he's kind of made his way behind the scenes a little bit for me. So yeah, I don't know if that answers that question or not.
I think with this scene, for me, what I could have done to make it a little less jarring is just kind of set it to where it makes the reader feel like Cloud did it before Nier reacts to it. Then you can understand why she just reacts, because she does kind of just react. I think for me, that's what I could have done, is just made the reader believe along with her, or doubt Avalok and doubt Cloud and make them kind of wonder. And then when Nier reacts, you can kind of go with her side because she's the main character. You're just going to go with her, and that's what side you'll choose until you realize they didn't do it.
Right.
Yeah. That'd be kind of mean to make us think of Cloud.
Oh, just for like a split second as she's trying to figure out who did it, you know. So it kind of casts doubt in your mind, but then she attacks them, and you're like, oh my god, did Cloud really do this? Is Avalok really against her? But then you find out one paragraph later that that's not true.
Just putting that thought in our mind, though.
Yeah, or is it true?
The one thing that I thought was weird, and I had to do like a reading double take, but when Lork was like, Nier, I found the glass eye or whatever it was, I'm like, wait a minute, I thought we already did that. So maybe it's just me not reading it correctly, but I think that
that could have been me too, because he took it because he can't get into the trial, so that's why he had it, and he hid it along with the potion to get in, so that they could get in when they got there. So yeah, that's I'll take the fall on that one, because I never explained that she doesn't have it anymore.
I mean,
to me, it made sense.
It's not a bad thing. I mean, it's one of those things where like it just kind of got lost in the shuffle with the high priest, and you know, it made it seem, it wasn't even that. It just made it seem like the glass eye was here this whole time, and he just found it. What I think it was supposed to mean is like, hey, Nier, look through this glass eye. Like, here's the entrance. You know what I mean? Like?
No, it was there. It was there. Cloud took it.
Oh, Cloud. Right. Okay.
Because whenever Nier gets taken by the high priest, she had accidentally cut herself and she spilled all of her stuff on the ground. So her stuff was still there. So Cloud decided to take her stuff and leave. So he used the glass eye to figure out where the entrance was. He used the vial just like Nier did to get in or to open it, and then he hid it, and he wrote the things on the wall in Avish so that when Avalok and Nier and Lorik got there, they'd read his words, they'd find the things needed to get in, and they could get into it.
Gotcha. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that I remember her dropping stuff, but like for some reason, like together that her shit was in there. So fair enough.
Like I said, I should have mentioned somewhere like in Mange, oh crap, the glass eye is missing, you know, just so you're aware that it's not there. Because that,
to be fair, the strangers of Mange were keeping them heavily distracted.
Sure. It just got lost in the shuffle, but it's one of those minor things, hopefully, that people don't really like.
It's not that huge of a deal. So, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, thank you for the clarity. Yeah, I just totally spaced that, like, and I'm sure it was only a sentence long, right? Like,
yeah, it was literally just like a piece of dialogue. You're like, hey, what's the glass eye there? Hold on.
But yeah, no, I thought sorry, go ahead, Derek.
Nope, go ahead. I was just going to move on here if we were ready. That's all.
Oh, me too. I was just gonna compliment you've played Ocarina of Time, right? Zelda Ocarina of Time. Yeah, you or Derek.
A little bit of it.
Well, I mean, like I get like very like Lens of Truth vibes from the glass eye. I just thought it was cool when they're explaining like this elaborate, just a regular ass mountain. You know, the entranceway just being revealed through the glass eye. it reminded me of playing that game, and there's an item called the Lens of Truth, and it reveals things that are hidden to the naked eye.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure I probably have seen that. I got to the part in the game where they like have to go into a frog's mouth or jump on frogs or something.
Oh, Jabu Jabu.
So I feel like maybe that's halfway. I don't know.
Well, way to just plagiarize the Lens of Truth, HC.
I know, unintentionally. Apparently, I plagiarized Wheel of Time, and I've never even read it. But people read it, and they're like, "There are so many similarities." They're like, "Did you read Wheel of Time?" I'm getting such heavy Wheel of Time vibes. I'm like, I never even heard of it until after I published.
I mean,
honestly, I've not really gotten that vibe at all.
That's what everybody keeps telling me, and I'm like, okay.
I'm assuming they probably haven't made it past the first or second book.
I have no idea. I've never read it.
I mean,
I'm not going to. It's
interesting.
800 books long, and there's no way.
As much as I remember and loved Eye of the World, when I think of Wheel of Time, I think of all 15 or 14 books. So
That's Robert Jordan, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one they say. I'm just like, okay, no, I've never read it, but that's cool, I guess. I hope it's cool because I don't know what those books are about.
Well, it's not about anything similar to your story, I don't think.
I guess maybe some elements of it, like maybe some of the way I describe things, or maybe some of the magic. I really don't know. But
yeah, you don't have enough smoothing skirts in here.
Or braid tugging.
Yeah.
Oh, I have seen that people tug their braids, which actually is a real thing. Whenever I have a braid, I tug it all the time. It's not very nice to read every 10 sentences, but it does happen. But anyways, yeah, let's keep going. I'm ready to
Good to
go.
know there's some real world grounding there. I got two more thoughts here, but Avlok and Lorik, she's thinking, they're just there to guide her through it. I kind of thought, well, that's, kind of a big reason, and surely she's going to encounter trials and probably have to fight things. And if you got, Avlok's pretty formidable with a blade, and I guess Lorik is maybe just cannon fodder if it comes down to it. But it's a couple bodies to fight if needed.
Yeah, but I think for Nier, whenever she got to the trials and she's actually standing there, it's a lot different than getting there. It's a lot different than thinking about going. Like, she's there. This is happening. It's real, and it all kind of sets in that they don't even have to be here. The only reason that they're here is to help me. So if they die or if they get hurt, it will be on me because there's no other reason that they're supposed to be here. It's not like Cloud, who has a reason. So she's kind of like weighed by guilt in a way whenever she's thinking of that there's no other reason for them to be there, which is why she's asking them, is this a mistake? Like, are you sure you want to do this? Because you don't have to.
But obviously, yeah, they're like, Lork's certainly not going to let her go without him. And
No.
I don't really think Avlok will either, but
no, and Avlok, he would go, even if Nier said no, he needs to get to Cloud too. He loves Cloud, so he's not going to leave him behind.
Well, I think if she told no to either one of them, they're both going to be like, fuck you, we're going with.
Yeah, it's just that, that sense of guilt. Like, I guess not survivor's guilt, but, if someone's tagging along with you, literally only to tag along with you whenever it's your journey and your goal and they could wind up dead, that's a big weight on your shoulders, even if they want to be there.
Yeah. Right, but I think on their perspective, they're like, well, this is our friend. We're not going to just let her do this by herself. So even if we get hurt, even if we die, it's worth it.
Yeah,
we'll take that risk.
Oh yeah, these are some ride or die friends. Let me freaking tell you. I wish I had friends like this. Go to the trials with me.
Well, maybe you just need to go on an epic quest.
I should get some magic and be hated by everyone and go on a deadly quest and get a bard friend. Because my husband's Avlok, so I just need a bard friend. I already got my Avish assassin who can't wiggle his eyebrows.
It's a skill he can work on.
He doesn't have forehead muscles or something. I don't know.
Good husband?
Yeah.
Oh.
I said Avlok is my husband. Or my husband is Avlok. So I already have my Avish assassin. I just need my bard and I'll be good to go. But my Avish assassin can't wiggle his eyebrows.
So why isn't he voicing Avlok then?
He doesn't do this type of stuff.
Why doesn't he?
Very, very introverted.
Ah, gotcha.
Very.
No worries.
He doesn't even have social media or anything. He's very introverted.
Moving on to my last thought here. Avelek whispers this Avish saying to Nier, and I have a feeling that must be what he whispered to her a few chapters ago.
Maybe. And he's talking about Vasnimosina. You will see this throughout the series. It is explained. I have an Avish translation guide at the back of book 3. That is where it is translated. So anyone that does not read the glossary or translation guide will not know what it means.
I think that confirms it.
I mean, I'm not confirming anything.
Oh, we have the 3rd book. We could just look it up.
Yeah, you could.
We could, but I'm not going to do that.
You're going to wait?
You can. Yeah, I'm going to wait. Yeah.
All right. You're a good boy.
Builds it up. Read and find out.
That was all I had on the chapter, Justin. I don't know if you had anything else.
I feel like I've said my piece on the things that I thought were cool.
It's about to go down, y'all. The trials are so good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I know, and we're right there. Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, the whole book, like you said, it's fast paced, but now I feel like we're really at that sprint. The last 100 meters or whatever.
Yeah, it does not slow down.
End,
so just be aware. It is full throttle till the end.
I'm excited to read on, for sure.
It's good. You'll love it.
Yeah, I am
Sweet.
as well.
And we'll see where Cloud is and what he's doing.
Yeah.
Who he with. He might be within his ear.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah. We'll see.
That would be some shit. Well, anything else we got here, folks?
Not at all.
That's good with me. This was good. This was fun.
It's always a
I
blast.
was on time this time, huh?
Yeah, thanks for... I know you're still not feeling 100%, so thanks for powering through it here with us for a couple hours.
Oh, yeah, y'all are awesome. This is much better than it would have been yesterday, so I'm glad y'all put it off, because yesterday was rough. I was literally just coming out of the 102 temperature yesterday, and I had it for 2 days straight. It was horrible.
Well, yeah, that's my wife. My wife kind of went through that a couple weeks ago. She had a fever for 4 days, and then it took her another probably 3-4 days after the fever was gone just to get her energy back. And
yep.
I mean, she's never sick. I've never seen her down for the count like this in the 10 years we've been together.
Yeah, it's crazy. Everybody's getting all the same sicknesses, and it just taking us all down. They're horrible. I feel like since
even when she had COVID, it wasn't like that. COVID wasn't even as bad as she figured she had influenza or something. But yeah, it put her down for a bit.
I feel like ever since COVID and we all had to quarantine, our immune systems just took a hit, because I've never gotten sick. I never ever get sick. And now I'm sick every 3 months. And it's hardcore sick. And literally everyone is sick at the same time. The whole world seems to be sick with the same thing at the same time.
Yeah.
No bueno.
Tomorrow is my 4th year anniversary at work.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, been there for 4 years.
Really?
It's
that's
weird.
awesome.
Nice. Congrats, buddy.
That's awesome.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, I'm excited to read on again. And yeah, I feel like the end of this book's going to come up fast. So we only got a couple episodes left. What, 3 or 4 episodes more to do?
Something like that. Not very many.
Yeah.
Y'all are free of HC.
No.
Yeah, but I would imagine that if we have another Lady Envy heavy chapter, that you'll be back. So.
Oh yes, I would love it. I loved playing her character.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, all right, guys,
go eat your dinner. Have a good night.
Bye.
See you guys.
Go.
Bye.
Go.
DMJ's Epic Quest. DMJ's Epic Quest. DMJ's DMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest. CMJ's Epic Quest.